Well, hello there. Welcome. It's another edition of Exiles TV. Glad to have you with us. I'm Kevin Gallagher, and Bill Profita not with us today. And my goodness, I want y'all to say hello to a good friend of ours, Kiran Chawla, former investigative reporter right here in Baton Rouge on one of our television stations, winner of more Edward R. Murrow Awards and Suncoast Emmy Awards for her investigative journalism than any other reporter I've ever met. Kiran, it's so great to have you here with us.
Thank you for having me.
And I wanted to ask you a few questions before we get to guests. And let me tease our guests, because we're going to talk to two people who want to be the mayor-president of the state's most populous parish, challenging Sharon Weston Broome for another term as the mayor-president of East Baton Rouge. Today we're going to talk with Tara Wicker, who's Metro Councilwoman in District 10, and we're also going to talk with Matt Watson, who's Metro Councilman in District 9. Now, Ms. Wicker is term limited, so this would be the end of the line for her as a Metro Councilwoman. However, Mr. Watson is willing to give up his council seat in order to run to replace Mayor Sharon Weston Broome. They'll be coming up in this hour and the latter hour of the show. Kiran, you and I met, I reminded you of this, you and I met, I think it was 2007, the last year of Kathleen Blanco's governorship.
I thought it was much earlier than that.
No, because I became a news reporter in 2006. So I'm going to say it was late 2006 or early 2007. But we were both sent by our respective newsrooms to cover an economic development press conference in, like, I can't remember if it was Winfield or Gina. It was one of those wonderful little small towns up in central Louisiana. And we got up there, and we were all setting up our stuff, and you and I exchanged a few words, just getting to know you, et cetera, et cetera. And then the press conference started, and it was like a door company was going to employ 10. And we both were like, do I have a story here?
I do remember that.
This is the kind of thing that in a newsroom you call, well, it's a good reader.
Yes.
But it's not necessarily worth, interview footage, and it said, wow, 10 jobs, awesome.
And the drive that we had made to actually get there, you needed to come back with a story.
That was a long, long
Yes.
ride. And I don't know about your editor, but or your assignment editor or whatever, but mine was mad because I did not have a story. He said, well, what do you got? I said, I got audio, but it's nothing. It's who cares? And I was gone for like 3/4 of the day. But you have certainly come a long, long way from covering, chicken crap economic development stories as you became an ace investigative reporter. And what I wanted to ask you is not anything in particular about that job, but or not the place, but the job itself. What got you started as an investigative reporter?
I guess I would have to say that anytime I see something to where it just bothers me, I have to do something about it. It can be in my personal life, it can be in my professional life. If I see something that really bothers me or something that's wrong, I feel like I need to fix it, and that's really how I got started in investigative journalism.
I mean, did you ask for the beat, or did somebody say, Kiran, you want this?
At that point, there was a void in investigative journalism because Paul Gates had retired, moved on, so there was nobody really doing investigative journalism, and that's how it kind of came about.
Yeah, Paul Gates, what a guy. God bless him. He was one of the greats. But
Yes.
When you're going after a story, I mean, it strikes me as you may have to spend more time behind the scenes doing research than actually doing on-cam interviews and things like that.
Oh, indeed. There were times that I'd spend months, 3-4 months, just doing the digging, putting in the records requests, going through the documents, and in some cases stacks of documents. And there were many a times that you'd put in all the time only to realize it's not a story. And you've put the money into it, the effort into it, but if it's not a story, drop it. Mm-hmm. There's no need to sit here and make something into a story just because you've put time and effort into it. But when I spend those 3 months doing something, you know what, at the end of the day, I know that I've done my homework, I've crossed my T's, dotted my I's, and I would say I was thorough.
Well, you must have been thorough to get nominated for all those awards and then win them.
Thank you.
So, congratulations. I have been a fan of your work for a good many years.
Thank you.
One thing that it seems to me, if you were still doing that beat here in Baton Rouge, that you would be talking about is we have had an explosion of violent crime.
We have.
It's not just the murders. The murders are horrible. I think
It is.
We talked with the district attorney on this program last week, and the murders are by number already where they were in November of last year.
Yep.
Which is horrible, which means we could be on track to double the number of murders from where we are right now. But it's also gunshots and gunshot wounds and non-fatal shootings, hundreds of them. Just the other night at Plank and Evangeline, one person killed, 8 people shot, almost 100 rounds fired as far as we can tell.
Yep.
And we're not experiencing the depolicing in this area that other communities are.
And it's kind of like you said, that it's not so much so, I think people assume, hey, the murder rate, and associate crime with the murder rate. That is not the case. The number of shootings, non-fatal shootings, in fact, that was an investigation, Matt Watson could talk about that in depth. That was one of the investigations that I did for a while, and talked to Baton Rouge Police, but I couldn't get the numbers. We were trying our best. I got mixed signals. Baton Rouge Police was telling me we don't track non-fatal shootings. Then Matt Watson and even a former statistician was telling me, yes, we do. I don't know if you guys even remember that investigation, but one of the best ways to track crime is the number of non-fatal shootings. Until this day, I don't think we have a clear number of the number of non-fatal shootings that are happening in Baton Rouge and East Baton Rouge Parish.
I find that very confusing that they wouldn't track non-fatal shootings. If the FBI does, why wouldn't local police?
I had the former statistician telling me that they've been tracking it.
We're going to take a quick pause, take care of a little business. More with Kiran Chawla, our guest co-host, and coming up this hour, Tara Wicker, candidate for East Baton Rouge Parish Mayor President, when Exiles TV returns.
Taste the feeling.
State Treasurer John Schroeder, encouraging you to visit latreasury.com to search for your unclaimed property money. During this pandemic, we've returned money to businesses, local governments, and people across Louisiana.
New Orleans Habitat for Humanity found unclaimed property with the Louisiana Treasury.
Audubon Nature Institute has unclaimed property.
I found unclaimed property with the Louisiana Department of Treasury.
We still have over $800 million. This is your money. Claim it.
We're back. It's Exiles TV, and glad to have you with us. Now, if you're just joining us and you're saying, "What? That's not Bill Profita." No, Kiran Chawla is with me, and she's my special guest co-host. Well, Bill takes a little R&R. And coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to have a chat with Tara Wicker. She is Metro Councilwoman in District 9 of East Baton Rouge Parish, and she's running
District
for
10.
District 10. Sorry, Tara. Tara just walked in the door in time for me to screw it up.
That's why I'm here.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
But she's also running for mayor president, so we're going to talk to her in a little while as well. And then in the second hour, we're going to have Matt Watson, who is District 9.
Yes, thank you. You see how I got that confusion? But it's a big task, I think, when you're running against an incumbent in almost any election, unless the person just displays abject incompetence in that term and really alienates. And I don't know if those words are true of Mayor Broome, but a lot of people think that Mayor Broome has made some missteps along the way in her term, and I think that maybe we should listen to some challengers and see what they have to say. And I think that my opinion personally is, win or lose, I think Mayor Broom ought to be listening to the challengers to see what they have to say. You know, she might learn something. I don't know. But there are people that are unhappy with the way things are going in East Baton Rouge Parish. It is, as I've said, the most populous parish in the state now, and the capital, and I think it's got a lot going for it, and we got a lot of good positive direction to go in the future if we just have the right leadership.
It's a very important race, very, very important. And the most important thing I think that we have to stress is, I know we're a few months out, but you have got to get out and vote, everybody. I don't care who you vote for, but you have got to get out and vote. It is your right to get out and vote, and you have no reason to complain with the outcome if you do not get out and vote. So
True.
I live in Baton Rouge, so I can say this, that yes, the mayor's position, mayor president, is one of the most, if not the most important positions, and I can't stress it enough. You have got to get out and vote. So it's very important to hear from everybody.
But yet, and I'm not sure I have the exact figure, but I want to say that the last mayoral election in East Baton Rouge Parish was decided with about 28%
Yep.
of the registered vote. And that's never good. I mean, we have a lot of people that are very vocal about what they like or don't like, but obviously a whole bunch of us didn't bother to go to the polls on Election Day
Yep.
and cast our vote. So you basically get what you pay for.
Yep. I remember I was at Bodie White's headquarters covering the mayoral election at that time, and they thought they had it. But a lot of people didn't get out and vote, so they did not win.
Strange. And it's sad, too. I get disheartened. I'm one of these chronic voters. I'm one of these people that, you know, they're going to love me. I'll probably, when I retire, become a polling commissioner. I just think it's so important to get out and do your thing and vote.
Yep.
And so I never miss it, whether it's, early voting. Took part in early voting for this last election. Because it was a presidential primary, I had one thing on my ballot. One.
Yep.
Just the sheriff's tax.
Yep.
Because I am a non-party voter. I'm registered no party, so I didn't get to cast a vote for president for a Democrat or a Republican. Is that fair?
If you're a journalist, you kind of are doing the right thing by being no party, because you're supposed to be unbiased. So
You are, in theory.
I am the same way. I am not a Democrat or Republican. I'm registered as an independent.
But look, I don't want to attack your profession, but I got to tell you honestly, the majority of journalists I know, whether they're TV, radio, or print journalists, they're Democrats. They're really, and a lot of them good, loyal Democrats. That's just the way it works out for the most part. I think if a person is a professional, then they behave like a no-party voter in doing their job. But, you know, what are you going to do? One of the things we just touched on in our previous segment was crime. It's gotten really, really bad in East Baton Rouge Parish. It's certainly gotten so much worse in so many other communities around the country. And it's sad to watch that people are still being randomly attacked, and
Yep.
Stuff is being burned and stuff is being vandalized. And it's hard to assign to it the motivation that we've been asked to subscribe to when it's been so many weeks and some of it just seems so wanton. But crime is one of the things we're going to ask Tara Wicker about. She's running for the mayor of East Baton Rouge Parish. And in the next hour, when Matt Watson's with us, we're going to ask, how does a mayor president go about addressing an explosion in crime? Is it something that a mayor president can address? Is it something one can take right to the people? Or is it something you've got to have the right people in law enforcement to do?
Agreed.
So tell you what, with that, we're going to take a little early break. And when we return, Tara Wicker, candidate for East Baton Rouge Parish Mayor President, joins us on Exiles TV.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Hi gang, Clarence Bugs here. Some big changes are coming to the Pelican and Cox Cable. July 15th, our numbers are changing. We're easier to find and we're in high def. New Orleans, Gramercy, Lutcher, Acadiana, Patterson, Baton Rouge, new numbers coming and a brand new signal. It all happens July 15th on Cox Cable. Do your buddy Clarence a favor, will you? Get all the details by checking your local guide.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology, which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Exiles TV returns, and thanks so much for being with us. I am Kevin Gallagher, Bill Profita, my co-host, taking a day off. So my co-host today is Kiran Chawla.
I was going to say I'm Bill Profita and just try to fake it like, I'm Bill Profita.
Well, you have to kind of go down here.
Oh, I got to go back here and be like, hello, people, I'm Bill Profita. Better?
There you go. Can you talk about some of the exotic ports of call you visited over your lifetime?
Yeah, I've been in the house, and then I've been to Walmart with a mask on, the grocery store with another mask on.
I got invited out of Albertsons the other day because I forgot my mask. Joining us right now for some serious discussion in the center chair is Tara Wicker. She's with the East Baton Rouge Parish Metro Council in District 10. And she is running for the mayor-president of East Baton Rouge Parish. A big job. It's by population the biggest parish now. Mm-hmm. I think Orleans always held that for the longest time, but now we've become much more consequential.
We have. We are the largest, and I think, at the end of the day, we house the capital. I mean, everything that happens in government is right here. And so it's an important parish. We set, in my opinion, we set the trend unknowingly for a lot of communities around this country and around this region of how we should function. And when we're not functioning that way, we also are setting a trend.
Well, speaking of that, Tara, when you're talking about that, you're right. All eyes go on the Capitol. Yep. Crime has become a major issue in Baton Rouge. Let's start there.
Yeah.
On the non-fatal shootings, I'm sure you saw, I think I did a piece last year that we got conflicted information. Baton Rouge Police says we don't track non-fatal shootings. Matt Watson, and a former statistician, said, yes, you do. How, as a mayoral candidate, though, can you even do anything about crime? Can you?
You most definitely can. I mean, I always say that the character of any community is determined by its leadership. And so when you don't have leadership at the helm that understands the necessity of having conversations across the aisle, bringing in the all parts of the community to say, this is what we need to do to make a difference and a change, you're going to have the results that we have. And so in my opinion, I mean, we've been working on this. 2016, of course, was a huge time for us. Yep. We woke up to a Baton Rouge that, we all all were trying to figure out what was going to be our new norm. And at that moment in time, we became something very different. But in a sense, it allowed us to have an open opportunity to have conversations that we had not had before, that needed to be had, but we had not had before. And so as a result of that, we started all kinds of initiatives, the Community Police Ambassador Program. And that to me was one of the most powerful opportunities to really have a chance to sit down and bring together all facets of the community to say, this is how we need to make a change. You have people that walked in that room that could not stand the police, that wouldn't have ever thought about giving the police officers a raise. And literally through that 2.5-year process, we brought in individuals from the police union, the police department, the community. Everybody was engaged in that conversation to say, how do we come together to make a difference? Now you have individuals that were in that room that had bad negative reactions with the police department. Now they're sitting in their living room with the police officers drinking coffee and the biggest advocates to say, yes, our officers do need a raise. So I think it goes back and forth. The police officers learned a lot about how the community really perceive them. You know, I don't know how to approach you. Why do you do things differently in my community than we do things differently in other communities? So it was very conversation. So in my opinion, I think that has to happen. In addition to that, we have to make sure that we have a community where people are able to feel like they can live and support their families. Yep. You know, when you look at some of the communities across the country that have lower crime rates, those are communities that economically are also viable. So when people feel like they have an opportunity to adequately take care of their families, their basic needs are provided for, they're listened and they're heard to, those communities perform better. And I think that becomes the major issue. We've had far, far too many of our young people that we were waking up every day that are dying in the street. My husband had to do 3 funerals of young boys, 2 of which were 17 years old. That's just unheard of. And so having those conversations, and in addition to that, I think it goes back to personal responsibility. I'm a mom of 6 kids. And you can call me helicopter mom, you can call me whatever you want to call, but call me a mom that has access to her children and her children's lives. So we are advocate on Life 360. And I think part of it is also having that tough conversation with parents about what are our parental responsibilities when it comes to making sure that our kids and our communities are safe.
I'm going to ask some questions that are going to be, I'm going to have to ask them delicately because this.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. A lot of people feel the crime is all in the black community, but all you have to do is step out into the unincorporated parts of the parish and you can see that people are shooting each other out there too.
That's right.
And they're not always black people. So how do we get beyond this idea that violent crime is a black issue in East Baton Rouge?
Well, I think a lot of it is perception. You know, there's an old adage that a person's perception is their reality. Are there areas that we know that there are more difficult situations where we find that there's crime and upticks in crime? Yes, but crime has no color. Crime doesn't have any geographical boundaries. Crime is everywhere, and crime usually you find is a matter of opportunity or a matter of passion. And so I think once you're able to get into those communities
and sometimes need abject
and sometimes need. You know, I think a lot of times the way that crimes are reported becomes an issue as well, because it seems like it's concentrated in a particular area when realistically
it's everywhere.
It's everywhere, mm-hmm. and no one is protected from that. Whenever you go out, and this has now become an unfortunate norm that every time people go out of their homes, their first idea is, am I going to return safely? Or my kid's going to return safely? And that's not Baton Rouge. That's not how we grew up. That's not who we are as a community. And so I do believe that we have to be able to get into law enforcement. We have to be creative. We've talked a lot about, community-centered policing and looking at having... Okay, so I'm going to digress for a moment because I want to make sure that people understand. My husband is a former state trooper. Mm-hmm. When Mike left the house, there was a level of professionalism, there was a level of honor that came along with doing his job, and there was an expectation that he did his job right. And people honored that. Yep. At the same time, I had no expectation for my husband as a law enforcement officer to be a social service provider or a babysitter, or all of these things that I think also we find that we're expecting law enforcement officers to play when in fact their job is to be able to maintain peace. Mm-hmm. And to me that's a two-way street. Mm-hmm. crime is not a police issue. I think crime is a community issue. And so we as a community have to be able to come together to resolve those issues, drill a hole to draw a line directly to where that problem is, and be okay with rolling up our sleeves to say this has to change, and be unafraid and unapologetic about having to make those changes that are necessary, because all of us deserve safe streets and a safe community. None of us should have to go out and be afraid.
You brought up that this is not the Baton Rouge we all know.
Yes.
Let's be honest. Between the crime, you can't leave your car on and jump out real quick thinking, oh, let me go grab this real quick. The car's on, my dog. We heard, I forgot the name of the dog, David Moore, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We heard that situation.
Yeah.
But
Lady
kids,
jacked his truck with his dog inside.
And the dog died. Kids can be in the car, so you can't do that. Or women's purses being snatched. So crime, infrastructure, traffic. Why do I want to live in Baton Rouge?
You know, I was having a conversation with someone this morning, and the thing that came out was we want our Baton Rouge back. And I would tell you, being here my entire life, growing up here in Baton Rouge, raising my family here, where we are now, Kiran, is not the Baton Rouge that we all know. This is not our city. And so now, for the first time, I'm having people that have lived in this community for their entire lives saying,
we're moving.
For the first time, I'm thinking about moving. And that's heartbreaking to me. I don't want to have to travel all over the country to have to visit my grandkids. And so I think that those of us that understand that, those of us that were born and raised here, individuals that are vested in this community, that still believe in Baton Rouge, can actually see the progress, and we can actually see what's ahead and say, you know what, we're gonna hit the reset button. We're gonna reset. There's some things that we need to reset. We have got to change and bring Baton Rouge back to where we know that it was and where it can be. And it can be successful, but we're going to have to drill in. We're going to have to do things differently. We cannot have a community that's divided based on the way that we look at each other. We have to be able to look at people's heart. And it goes back to that whole crime issue and the crime of opportunity. Yeah, if there's an opportunity and I'm hurting and my basic needs aren't taken care of, I'm more inclined to do that. The other issue is going back to the values of what makes a community. When you believe in a community and you have family values and you have a structure, you're less likely to go and do things that are outside of your character. And so we're going to have to reset the button and rebuild the character of our community. That goes all the way down to our children, personal and parental responsibility. What are we pouring into our kids? What conversations are we having about technology and what's out there, and what is the message that we're sending? If we look and we act like we don't care, going back to blight and all of that, if I look at a community and it looks like you don't care and it's full of junk, trash, and debris, trash is not being picked up, vacant lots, overgrown properties, then that community is going to behave like it doesn't care. So there's no surprise that our community is responding the way it is, because it's not healthy.
Is race an exaggerated problem, in your opinion? Because I've lived here for 30 years, and my fondest memories living here for 30 years is when there's something going on downtown, everybody goes.
Right.
You got Live After 5, you got Blues Festival.
Right.
Everybody goes.
Right.
And we all go, we have a party together.
I'm going to say something, and Kiran knows me enough to know that this is just how I'm just going to say things, and that it may not be popular, but if I believe it's the right thing, it's the right thing. I think that a lot of times now, do we have issues? We've always had issues dealing with race in this community, and that's out there, and we need to deal with it. But I also think that race has been used on both sides a lot of times as a cover-up to the real problem. I think that Baton Rouge to me doesn't have a race problem. I said, don't talk to me about racial equity. Talk to me about economic equity. Because when we have that real conversation about economic equity, which nobody really wants to dig into that conversation, that's a totally different conversation. And so when do we need to understand each other? I told someone, I went to the LSU rally with the kids the day I actually announced, and I didn't tell anyone I was announcing because that wasn't the issue, but I told them, we're very proud of you. This is a generation that for a long time I've been told you're doing things wrong, but I'm very proud of you guys coming together. And I said, the problem with Baton Rouge is we don't know each other anymore. You know, you need to know that how black people make potato salad and how white people make potato salad. It's a little different, you know?
Browns too.
You need to know that when a black girl perms her hair, it straightens out. When a white girl perms her hair, it curls up. You know, it's not something that divides us. It's just the fact of the matter. But those are the things that make us who we are. And so why not celebrate that? Why not have BR Connect opportunities where we go into each other's neighborhoods and really get to know each other, eat each other's food, learn about each other's kids, because I promise you, once we take time to do that, I never met a person I didn't like once I knew their story.
You can't judge a book by its cover.
You cannot.
Well, and I'm reminded of the words of the immortal Dr. King. He said he dreamt of a day where we'd all be judged by the content of our character. And that it seems we're farther away from that one than we were in '68 when he was killed.
You know, Trey Walsh and I, if I had a brother, I don't. We need to take a break.
Yeah, we're coming up on a break. I'm sorry.
See, I am going to be Bill Profita.
TV professional.
We're going to talk about that.
I'm being counted down.
No, if you were being Bill Profita, you'd talk past the break. Exiles TV will be right back. I love you, Bill.
Good job.
That's right, the Clarence Buggs Show is back, along with the Exiles, Bill Profita and Kevin Gallagher. We've put the band back together, South Louisiana's talk team, and it's only on the Pelican. 10 a.m. till 12 noon, right here on the Pelican.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Exiles from what you ask? Exiled from the radio. But now, we're on your television.
I'm Bill Profita, he's Kevin Gallagher, and they kicked us to the curb.
But we're back.
We are back with Exiles Television on the Pelican Broadcasting Network. We're going to bring you the newsmakers. We're also going to take your calls and give you great information. It's going to be the best damn radio show on television.
Look for it on your cable system or download the app, PelicanSportsTV.com.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Hey, welcome back. It's Exiles TV. My guest co-host for today, while Bill takes a little R&R, is the inimitable Kiran Chawla, winner of more Edward R. Murrow Awards for Journalistic Excellence and more Suncoast Emmy Awards for Journalistic Excellence. And I asked her to count them, and she said can't.
I didn't mean that egotistically. I couldn't remember.
No, she wasn't bragging. She's just like, I don't know. You want me to go count them? No, don't worry about it. Don't count 'em. But our guest is Tara Wicker. Tara Wicker is with the Metro Council, East Baton Rouge Parish Metro Council in District 10, and is running for mayor president of East Baton Rouge. It's an interesting situation. We are one of the few city parish governments left in the state. I think there were 3 or 4 at one time, but what are there now? 2? Mm-hmm. And it's a big, big job. You're not just the mayor of a city.
That's right.
You have to run an entire parish. It's a huge job with a huge fiscal picture.
That's right. I mean, people, and a lot of people still to this day don't recognize the fact that we're a consolidated form of government. And so you do have the mayor, who's the mayor of the city of Baton Rouge, but you also have the president, who's the president of the parish. And that makes where, they'll say, well, how does Central vote for, our mayor, but we don't vote for theirs? Well, that's part of the consolidated form. Exactly, the parish president. And so with that comes a significant responsibility to understand that you have to be able to look at things very objectively, because you're not, it almost reminds me of the council districts. People would say all the time, oh, well, do you just represent your council district? Well, while I represent the council district, I cannot take away from the fact that we're part of a whole. And so I also have to look at not only how it's going to impact my district, but how it's going to impact the entire parish and all the other districts as well. And so being mayor president, you have to have that form of leadership that has the unique skill set and the unique capability of being able to, number one, be a bridge builder, be a collaborator, and understand that I'm not only on this segment of the community or this segment of the city, but I have to look holistically. And I have a unique opportunity to represent what we would call the gumbo of Baton Rouge, because District 10 was the gumbo. District 10 had everything.
It's extremely
that Baton
diverse.
Rouge, we have rich, we have poor, we have black, we have white, we have everything that makes Baton Rouge what it is was in District 10. So it gave me a very, very unique angle and a very, very unique responsibility to be able to be very objective in terms of people's needs, what their concerns were. And to me, that's the picture of the parish. You have very, very diverse needs. We're all part of the same parish, but you have to have a skill set and the capability and the passion to be okay with sitting down and having conversations with people, even if they differ from your personal point of view, but recognize that you still have to represent that parish. And no matter what my personal point of view is, it is my job to represent everybody. And I think that is the kind of leadership, I know that that's the kind of leadership that we have to have, that's going to be able to bring this community back together and build those bridges where those bridges have been blown up and in many cases just torn down.
Well, and you and I talked about this before, that I personally feel that the train has left the tracks when it comes to Baton Rouge. And that is why that this election is so very important. Everybody's got to get out, that we got to get the train back on the tracks.
Yes. We've got to do some course correction. I was able to attend Heal America conference with Urban Specialists, which is a group that has decided to make their place here in Baton Rouge, and they go into communities and help communities heal. And they bring major players from all across the country, and we were there recently, and Todd Graves and some others were there. But the conversation was just that. We can very easily, from one moment of disaster and despair, get completely off course or throw the train completely off course, and now we're over here and no one knows the direction that we're headed. And so in terms of being able to be effective and capable leader, you've got to be able to say, hey, we're off course here. Let's get back to what we're supposed to be doing. Let's take care of the health, the safety, and the welfare of the citizens, and let's make sure that Baton Rouge is the place, East Baton Rouge Parish is the place that people believe and feel that they can have a good quality of life, raise their family, do business, not feel like if I'm going to start a business, you're going to throw up every obstacle in play to make sure that I don't, but we're going to be open to make sure at the end of the day you can do business and do it successfully and raise your family and have a great quality of life. And to me, Kevin, that's what transcends color. Mm-hmm. Like, you want the best for your family. You want a good quality of life. Karen, you want the best for your family and a good quality of life. So
Everybody
do I.
does.
Everybody wants that. So when you're able to look at those commonalities and then you develop policies that push for and push for those opportunities, then people feel like they can be part of something that's moving and that's back on track, and we're not just kind of wandering in the wind trying to figure out what our next move is.
But there's an element of inspiration for people to want to put in the effort to take part in the opportunity.
I think they have to feel like there's real change that's coming.
I think that there are people who feel, why bother? Why should I even bother?
A lot of people think the train is so far off the tracks that it's already too late.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gotten in trouble for speaking my mind, which you and I always say, we've always spoken. What comes
no matter what.
No matter if it comes back to bite us in the butt, but a lot of Baton Rouge feels the train is already off the tracks and it is already too late to put it back on tracks.
People are discouraged, but I think that's where you have leadership that has a vision and that understands the necessity to be able to convince people that there is hope. Because at this point in time, when I have people that have lived here their entire life, Kiran, say, for the first time in my life, I'm thinking about leaving, that's a person that's lost hope. And so people are also saying, however, you're able to go in and extrapolate out of all of the junk and garbage. We want our Baton Rouge back. We want our parish back. And so I think the message is, let's go back and remember. Those of us that were here, and this is one of my favorite stories, those of us that are from here remember the Santa Claus on top of Gotcha's, the laughing Santa Claus. You remember him?
Oh, yeah.
And at that moment, we looked out in the audience. It didn't matter if you were black, white, old, young. We were all there at a point of time and celebration. And those are memories that all of us can hold on to say, you know what, maybe all is not lost. But you have to have someone that cares, that remembers, that understands, and has a passion for, we won't give up. We won't give up the ship. And that's my point. I will not let Baton Rouge be lost on my watch.
So I live in Baton Rouge. I'm only 21.
You look great, girl.
I know, huh? Why should I vote for Tara Wicker?
You should vote for Tara Wicker because I am the most capable, qualified, ready candidate that uniquely has a skill set to do this job effectively, Kiran, on day one. I have an undergrad degree in political science. I have a master's degree in public administration, which trained me to be able to go in, function in city government, and look at budgets and take care of business policy, the whole 9 yards. I'm a Baton Rouge girl. I was born and raised here, so you're not going to find anyone else that has the kind of passion, experience, and commitment to this community. We've got to be able to have leadership that's unapologetic about making tough decisions. And even in the realm of unpopularity, be able to stand and say, we're going to make this decision no matter what. I think that I have a proven track record of being able to do that. And you have to have someone that has a vision. You know, we developed our 7 pillars. People say I have 6 kids. I actually have 7, Kevin, because I have a little dog named Pretty, and she is by far one of my children. But you also you can't just say it and have rhetoric and, oh, it's a good conversation, and we're going to have a lot of press conferences. You actually got to roll up your sleeves and get the job done. So we've given a lot of methodical thought. Yes, that's right. And so we have our 7 pillars, and I uniquely tied them to each one of my children. You know, jobs and economy. Trinity is the unifier, bringing everybody together. Maya is my education kid and making sure that we are focused on educating and having a qualified workforce. Michael Joel is my effective and efficient government child. Everything in his life is in order. Even though he's the boy in the room, he has the cleanest room in the house. You know, I have Magnus. Magnus, if he walks in here now, Kevin, and my cell phone is here, he's going to shake your hand, but he's going to take my cell phone and while he's talking. Because he can't do anything without technology. So if technology is not integrated effectively into everything that we're doing, we're lost. And then I have my little Mayla Grace, who's my beauty queen. She can take the ugliest doll in her toy box and make it absolutely beautiful. So without blight remediation and making sure our city looks clean, it's not going to behave like it should, and it's not going to behave clean. And then I have Pretty. She is the crime preventer in the house. So anybody knocks on that door, she's going to bark, and she's going to protect the territory. And so I did the 7 pillars around the personalities of my family members, but it's true because that's what Baton Rouge is. Baton Rouge is our family, y'all. Exactly. And we're all part of the same family, and you're passionate about family, and you're supposed to come together and take care of each other as a family.
And we were like that. Back in 2016, yes, there was major division, but think back to that flood. Do you remember?
I do.
Not only the flood, but after the shootings and the ambush.
The flood coming in just a month after officers were murdered on the streets, and then that coming only just a couple of weeks on the heels of Alton Sterling being shot. And for us to all come together like that for that flood when there was so much division.
And people didn't care about color. At that moment, it was about survival.
That's it.
And how do you take care of each other? So you had people from South Baton Rouge delivering plates to people in Denham Springs.
You had people from New Orleans coming up to help people in Baton Rouge.
That's right.
So it's not just a Baton Rouge, it's Louisiana.
Clearly, that's when we're at
That's
our
the key.
best.
It's going back to the heart of who we are. We're all, as Magnus says, we're all human beings.
That's it.
We're going to have one more segment here with Tara Wicker. She is candidate for Mayor President of East Baton Rouge Parish. Right now, we're going to take a quick break, take care of a little bit of business. Kiran Chawla is my co-host for today. I'm Kevin Gallagher. Tara Wicker with us. Matt Watson, also running for mayor. He'll be with us next hour on Exiles TV. We'll be right back.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For Total Pest Control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Fruget Jr., and I am a general dentist at Fruget Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Clarence Bug Show. Yeah, I'm back on the air. That's right, 10 a.m. until 12 noon, Monday and Wednesday, and we replay it Monday and Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. to midnight. Check us out online. You can watch it live at PelicanSportsTV.com, or better yet, why don't you just download the Pelican Broadcasting app? That way you can take it with you anywhere you go. That's right, the Clarence Bug Show. Tell you what, oh, wait, gotta run, gotta go, bye.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Back with Exiles TV. I'm Kevin Gallagher. Kiran Chawla filling in for Bill Profita today. Give her a big round of applause, everybody. And our guest this hour, it's been a fascinating conversation with Tara Wicker, Metro Council in District 10. District 10 is probably the most diverse district.
It is.
As far as race, as far as household incomes. And it also, you have an interesting district because you straddle into what would be St. George.
Yes.
So you're about 50-50, one in city limits, half in city limits and half in what would be the city of St. George.
That's right.
And right now, the mayor president of the parish is suing the citizens of the parish for trying to form a city that they followed every legal, they jumped through every legal hoop that they had to jump through in order to get their city, including an election. and she's suing her own constituents to block the creation of a city.
You know, that becomes a difficult task, and I think that there were so many missed opportunities in terms of leadership when it came to that whole St. George issue. Because I mentioned earlier when we were off camera, I have 6 children, so I get when they started out. It started out as an education issue. All of us want quality education for our kids. Then after that, through the whole process, it gravitated to efficient and effective government. Am I really getting what I'm putting in? My tax dollars going in, are we really seeing the benefit from that? Which is a reasonable idea and understanding that people should feel like they're getting what they deserve. And then now it's gravitated, unfortunately, to a race issue. Oh, well, the white kids don't want to be with the black kids. And
I
it's
don't see that as fair.
I just think it's the conversation has become so convoluted and so mixed up, and there were so many opportunities as leadership. You should just be able to sit at the table and have a conversation and a dialogue about, okay, what are the expectations? Because I really believe if leadership had been at the helm and had a conversation, we'd be having a whole different line of dialogue right now about this issue. It may not even have been an issue. And so for me, in terms of that, it's going to create a unique opportunity. We have to, St. George and not St. George, figure out how to be more efficient and effective with the tax dollars that we have. People need to be able to understand that if I deposit money, one of my pillars is the efficient, effective government. And the story that I tell my son now, he would go and put his money in his dad's pocket, and he said, now it's our money. And so he had a belief and an expectation that I made a deposit. Now we're working together as a collective on how we're going to disperse those monies. It was kind of slick, Kiran, but he did it. But to me, that becomes the expectations of taxpayers. If I'm putting my money in, now it becomes our money.
Exactly.
Let's creatively come together and figure out, what am I getting as a result of that deposit? There have been so many citizens that felt like their voices were not heard, and now that conversation is even getting tougher. The votes happen, the transition bills pass, now there's the whole lawsuit. But where's the dialogue and conversation? Because now the sides are
farther
even
apart
further
than ever.
and further departed, and it's fitting in all into the divisiveness that's part of our whole community, and that's just so heartbreaking, and it's so sad for those of us that understand we're one parish.
When the smoke clears and the whole thing's over and done with, it's going to be awkward having to deal with the city of St. George.
You got to be the parish president for everybody, no matter what. And I think being able to get in, for me, going in and having that conversation and extrapolating out each one of those components. What is it in this piece that's most important to you? Because everybody has their side of the story, and everybody's story is right. They're looking at it from a different perspective. And so, but to me, there was a lot of lost opportunity, and now we've gotten to the point where people feel like their voices aren't heard. So now I'm going to shout and scream, and I'm going to mandate that I get what I feel like I deserve. And you're right. That's going to be a very, very tough conversation if you haven't already been part of that dialogue and part of the solution, to sit down and say, well, now let's eat, let's talk, let's have a good conversation about moving Baton Rouge forward.
Let's all suddenly try to be civil.
I'm mad and I'm upset because when you had an opportunity to hear me and listen to me, you didn't. And so for me, I think, again, going back to that broader perspective, we are one parish. It matters not where you live. We still have to function and behave and perform as one parish and together. And so I think you have to have that unique leadership in place. And I think that's what I bring to the table, to be able to have those conversations and be that bridge builder. No matter where you live, I'm still going to represent your interests and make sure that all of us have what we need.
And speaking
to
of
succeed.
that, there's a division not only in Baton Rouge, but all of East Baton Rouge Parish. The entire country right now is actually divided. And I'm not saying that you're going to be, hey, maybe you will. Down the road, could be president. Who knows? Let's start with Mayor President.
We'll say that we announced it right here.
Yes. But let's start with the division that is going on. And the division in the country is phasing every human being.
Yes.
Be it people who are fed up with it and just not even watching, be it news or social media, or completely gotten off of it and live in their own little hole.
Right.
Or people who are 100% active and making their voices heard. How, as Mayor President, do you take that on?
Wow. I think that you do two things. Number one, you're compassionate and you understand and you acknowledge those things. You don't try to shy away from it and act like it doesn't exist. You're okay with sitting down and having those tough conversations. We started something called Race Talk as part of the Community Police Ambassador Program, because we recognized before they could be the bridge between the police department and the community, there was some healing that had to happen in that room. We had one gentleman, the guy that I actually mentioned now, that has coffee with the police officers in his room. When he came from the military as a young person, he came down to the North Boulevard protests just to kind of see what was going on. All of a sudden, he found himself on the ground with a gun in his face, being arrested, and I wasn't even born at the time, but I heard the story so actively that I felt like I knew that story. And so I think being able to acknowledge that there were things that tore our community apart, there were things that were wrong, acknowledge those, but at the same time, be able to have those community building conversations to say, now how do we move past it? What do we need to do to make sure that we come together? You hear me, I hear you, and be a strategist in terms of how do we recognize the pain and hurt, but also be able to move and progress past it. And I'll tell you a story. I had my daughter, when I was a young girl, we all got together and we, as a family, watched Roots. And this is a tough conversation, but it's a real conversation. And we watched Roots because at that time that was all, about, learning about your history and what have you. And my daughter was there and she said, Mama, she watched it because she had not. And she said, Mama, I appreciate you making me sit down and watch that. She said, I have an appreciation for what happened. She said, but I also don't want to be defined by it. Meaning, I don't want to get stuck at a place that I'm not able to move forward. So I think we have to be able to come together as a community, hear one another, respect one another, acknowledge one another. Acknowledge the past, don't act like it didn't happen, but also allow that to be an opportunity and an open door for there to be healing to take place, and recognize that we actually, at the end of the day, are more alike than we are different.
Yeah. I'm going to hit you with one more question. It's the money question. Do you think it's time to take a serious look at restructuring the fiscal picture of East Baton Rouge?
We have to. We don't have a choice. I think that at the end of the day, with everything that has happened with COVID, everything that is happening with the structure of government, and what could happen even with the St. George piece, you have to be able to take a hard and fast look at how we utilizing the existing resources that we have. We have to be more efficient and more effective. And so, looking at the way, and we've had a lot of conversation about the different taxes that are out there. Is it time to revisit those and realistically find out? I believe that every dollar that taxpayers give should be targeted to a specific action item. And once that action item is accomplished, then let's revisit how we use that money. Just because we've done it the same way year after year after year, that's status quo. But we need to be able to be okay and be creative to say, okay, we've accomplished that. Now let's pull back and figure out how can that money be redistributed to make sure that it's used effectively and more efficiently. We have to.
Yeah, it seems we have a lot of funds that are tapped out. We have funds that are brimming with cash, but we can't touch it.
Yeah.
Because it's for specifically that. I don't know if a lot of people in East Baton Rouge Parish, we have 14 beautiful libraries, 14 in East Baton Rouge Parish, beautiful libraries and over 300 employees. It's like, I think we're well covered in that area.
Libraries. But then you have a prime example, the police department. Baton Rouge Police is probably one of the lowest.
Need raises badly.
Yeah, they badly need raises. Not only that, but with St. George, the city has incorporated so many portions, but there are not enough officers to cover it. So now they're working overtime. That's forking out even more money.
And then you think about the mental health issues that go along with that, and the divorce rate and all those kinds of things that go along. And so at the end of the day, we literally had one of our officers that left to go work at Cox Cable one time. And the reality was, I love being a police officer. I love it, but I can't make a living the way that I, off the income that I'm getting from police. So he went to work at Cox. Really great guy. So I think that we have to be able to strategically understand how we're using the tax dollars. And my goal is, first thing when we get in office, we need a parish-wide strategic plan. Let's everybody come to the table and let's have a conversation about the dollars that we have, and collectively let's come together. Now, we know everybody's not going to agree, but I think at the end of the day, making people feel like their voices are heard, and then actually channeling those dollars to those issues that are most pressing to the community. I should not have to beg and scream for my trash to be picked up. I should not have to beg and scream for my lights to be in my community, and all the things that people look at as basic services of government. It's just not getting done, and that's the frustration that you see, and that's why people are like, you know what, I don't trust you with my money, and I'm going to do something else with it.
And
we can change that.
And we didn't even touch on drainage, which is, of course, huge, but
Yes.
we've run out of time.
We have.
And if you know when it rains, people have PTSD now, and you
Yes,
know,
they do.
you know
Very
the areas
well.
to
That's a
avoid
good way of putting it.
when
We
it
have
floods. We
PTSD.
do every time it rains. Oh my God, am I going to flood? But if we know where those areas are,
Take
then
care
why
of
not
them.
target those areas
Yep.
first?
Yep.
There's a
Tara
lot of
Wicker.
work to be done.
Tara Wicker, Metro Council District 10 and running for East Baton Rouge Parish Mayor President. We're going to be right back with Hour 2 of Exiles TV.
Thank y'all.
Thank you for joining us.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, gang. Clarence Buggs here. Cox Cable is upgrading the signal from the Pelican, but to catch us, you're going to have to tune in now to a new number. Acadiana, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Gramercy, Lutcher. Check your guide for details.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Exiles from what you ask? Exiled from the radio. But now, we're on your television.
I'm Bill Profita. He's Kevin Gallagher, and they kicked us to the curb.
But we're back.
We are back with Exiles Television on the Pelican Broadcasting Network. We're going to bring you the newsmakers. We're also going to take your calls and give you great information. It's going to be the best damn radio show on television.
Look for it on your cable system or download the app, PelicanSportsTV.com.
Hello, guys. It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
We're back. Exiles TV. We thank Metro Councilwoman Tara Wicker, who is running for mayor of East Baton Rouge Parish, for being our guest. This hour, coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to talk to another candidate for that same office, and that is Matt Watson. He is the Metro Council representative in District 9. And Matt has some very interesting thoughts on how he would govern if elected mayor president of the state's most populous. I don't want to call it largest because I don't think we're anything near. I think Jefferson Parish is geographically the largest.
Yes. I did want to ask you, because we were talking about this during the break, in case anybody's wondering, you did reach out to the other candidates as well.
We have invited, we've reached out to the mayor's office and offered her both this television show and the podcast whenever she wants to do them. And just if you're with the mayor's office now and you're watching, Mayor Broom, podcast or this television show or both, whenever you want to do them. Last week on our podcast, we had Jordan Piazza.
There we go.
A local businessman who is also running for mayor president, and we're going to offer him this TV show as well.
There you go. So in case you were wondering that,
it's their right. If they come and I like to offer it ahead of time. It's to someone coming and demanding the equal time. But in broadcasting, it's just good form if someone says, you had this guy on, how about giving me some time? Yes.
Exactly.
I think that a well-informed voter is going to do a better job. It worries me sometimes that people they belong to a club, and that club has a letter after it, whether that's an R or a D, And they just go in there and they look for whatever they are. If you're an R, you're going R. If you're a D, you're going D. And then I'm just going to say this is rough, and I'm probably going to take some heat. But there are people who vote skin color, and they may have multiple choices of Ds, but they go and they vote. That's a black D. That's a black D. And you just got to give more thought to that when you're voting. You got to pay some attention to these people and see who you really feel in your gut is going to be the best for the job.
I agree wholeheartedly. You can't do that. You really need to put some time and effort into who you're voting for. It's like if you've been joining us the last hour, you heard Tara Wicker agree, should I say, with me that, yes, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I get in trouble sometimes for being a no BS person, but the truth is Baton Rouge is off the tracks. I don't know if you would agree with me on that, Kevin.
I agree. I'm not one of these people that have fled the parish. I still live in East Baton Rouge Parish, and I don't intend to leave. My wife and I will probably live in our little home in Shenandoah forever. But off the tracks is a good way of putting it. There's so much that we seem to no longer be in control of.
And Tara, I think, started mentioning something along the lines of that there are people out there who don't know what the direction is of Baton Rouge, that when you're off the tracks, you don't know what the direction is. I think there are a lot of people at this point that are just saying, I don't care anymore, because no matter what we say, we have no voice. There are a certain amount of people, certain group of people who are controlling everything that happens. And that's why they're saying enough is enough. But again, voting is your right, and mayor president is probably one of the most important elections that's upcoming, if not the most important. And again, it's not just Baton Rouge that needs to go vote for the mayor, it's the mayor president position. So that includes everybody, guys. Zachary, Central, what's going to be St. George, Baker. This will be the president of the entire parish.
Here's something else to think about too, Kiran, is it's entirely likely that this will come down to a December runoff election. Very likely that it will come down to a December runoff election. And remember, we mentioned earlier that Mayor Broom was elected with 28% of registered voters showing up on Election Day.
And with coronavirus, if it's still going on at that time, we don't know how elections are going to work.
In years where it's a presidential election in November, and then you have lingering runoffs, which you're going to have some congressional races that go to lingering runoffs because we have open congressional primaries. It's the December surprise. We have this, and sometimes probably best example in recent history of a December surprise in Louisiana was voters in District 2, which is the state's majority-minority district, or mostly black district, whatever you prefer to call it. Congressional District 2 were shocked in 2008 when there was a runoff election in December, and lo and behold, an Asian man was their new congressman, Joseph Gao. Good man, earnest man, a Republican who voted with his Democrat constituents on Obamacare. Now, some people say that makes him a villain because he was the lone Republican in the House that voted for Obamacare, but he was a man that knew he was representing a majority of Democratic constituents, and he knew what they wanted, and he gave them the vote that they wanted from their congressman. Now, was he a bad guy? I say he was a damn good congressman for the one term he was in. But what happened was the mostly black constituents in District 2 woke up and said, what the hell happened? There's an Asian guy. They thought Bill Jefferson was going to win, but they didn't show up in December to vote.
Yep.
Everybody showed up in November to vote for Barack, but then we had December runoffs. Nobody came. We're going to have a December runoff again. I think probably, 80, 85, 90% chance of a December runoff.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Very important that you vote when there's an election.
And it's tough to, like you said, beat an incumbent. So if you really want to change, you need to get out and vote. Can't stress that enough.
Speaking of voting, again, we're going to talk with Matt Watson. He is running for mayor president. He'll be giving us his version of how he would, changes he would make, how he would run the city parish if he's elected in November/December. First, another quick break, and Kiran, Chawla, and I will be back with Exiles TV.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
That's right, the Clarence Buggs Show is back, along with the Exiles, Bill Profita and Kevin Gallagher. We've put the band back together, South Louisiana's talk team, and it's only on the Pelican. 10 a.m. till 12 noon, right here on the Pelican.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
And we're back. It's Exiles TV. Hey, thanks so much for being with us. Bill Profita. I don't know, Bill, your job may be on the line here because
I was going to say I am Bill Profita.
I'm enjoying.
Welcome back.
I'm enjoying Kiran Chawla. You gotta kind of
dig in a little bit more.
Kind of
lean in. Thank you guys for coming back. And on our next hour, we've got former now Councilman Matt Watson, because he had to step down in order to run for.
So is he officially out now as a councilman so that he could run, or does that start with qualifying?
I'm not actually sure. If I'll be honest with you guys, I really haven't been watching any news or anything for a little while, so I've kind of taken a break.
I did the same thing. Listen, I didn't listen to talk radio of any kind.
Yeah.
It's
hard.
4 months.
It's a reminder.
I don't listen to radio.
I haven't watched any
Spotify
news whatsoever. Yeah, I really just dug myself in a hole and finally starting to crawl out of it.
Some of the things that we talked about with Tara Wicker, which we're also going to touch on with Matt Watson, is that we are a parish with money problems.
Yes.
And we don't have the money to take care of the problems, and it's because we've set ourselves up with so many untouchable funds.
Yep.
And I'm going to throw some numbers out here. And for those of you outside Baton Rouge, I guess it doesn't matter if the numbers are accurate or not, but I'm going to disclaim that my numbers may not be right on target. But we have a library fund, and it's untouchable. It's untouchable. It's all paid for out of tax millages. And we just opened a beautiful downtown library. It's a spectacle.
Yeah.
I haven't been inside yet, but it's a spectacle. But we also, if you've been following Baton Rouge, you know that library was delayed opening by about 16 months because it was structurally unsound.
But how many people are going to use that library is my question.
Boom.
The amount of money and time and tax dollars that went into it. How many people in today? I remember growing up as a kid, it was something that we did, my brother and I. My mom took us regularly to the library to check out books and whatnot. But how many people actually do that?
That
now?
was so you could research a paper for school or something like that. You can research a paper for school on this thing.
Right here.
I could research one on this while I'm doing one
exactly.
on this. So I'm not saying we don't need a library. I'm saying, did we need a $26 million library?
Exactly.
And do we need? We are the most populous parish, but do we need 14 public libraries?
That's a lot.
In East Baton Rouge Parish. There are over 300 employees with those libraries, and with everything paid up, the library fund has over $70 million in surplus.
Yep.
That means we've put too much money into the fund, Kiran, in my opinion.
I agree with that.
And these are the questions that I want to ask of Tara and of anybody who's running.
Yep.
Is that's going to be a battle to go about. Nobody's going to voluntarily say, well, you know what? We got 14 libraries and everybody's taken care of. Go ahead and sweep that fund.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to say that.
No.
So
not only that, but when it comes to even first responders, I think and given the climate of what is happening in the country, that is a conversation that must be had for everybody, all first responders, not just police officers, everybody, that you have got to talk pay raises for them. But again, how do you bring that up when the parish as a whole, the budget isn't even sound?
Well, what I'm saying is I think that our budget solutions are there, but it takes really, really bold moves to do it and some serious restructuring of the parish fiscal picture. And I have my worries that even the best of leaders won't be able to get this Metro Council, because I think there are only 1 or 2 term limited this time around. So the council is not going to change that much. The faces on the council.
No.
And it's a council that can't get along.
Oh, that council is extremely divided. And at the end of the day, you've got to come together in order to get anything done. But it always comes down to a party line vote.
But your point about, I can't remember what starting pay for a police officer is. It's pitiful. It's in the 30s.
I know I did some story. It's been a long while, but
it's in the 30s.
But Baton Rouge, I remember. I mean, I looked at smaller agencies like Brewley and Addis. I think Ascension Sheriff's Office might be one of the best ones, or either Gonzales, one of those.
Mm-hmm.
But Baton Rouge Police, which you would think they're the biggest ones, they are one of the lowest. With over 700 officers, they're one of the lowest paid.
And it's a violent parish, and it's a parish where police officers are assaulted and shot at. And, I know some people out there may watch it. Well, 30-something would be great. I'd love to make 30-something, but you're not shot at.
How do you support a family? Not only that, but how do you support a family on that?
Exactly. You can't.
No.
You can't.
No.
When I was a young man working in radio and making in the upper 20s and low 30s, I had to have a grown adult roommate to share expenses with. It's just unrealistic. I'd say anything short of 45 is unrealistic to be able to hold up a household.
I agree.
But yet, for some reason, we're reluctant to pay our first responders, our police, our firemen, our EMTs, the money that they're worth. And I find it just crazed right now that we're seeing cities defunding their police.
I saw something scrolling on Facebook the other day that, what did they say? You thought it was bad when you couldn't find toilet paper. It's going to get even worse when you can't find a police officer.
You can't find a cop.
That's true. I mean, think about it. People were running to Sam's and Costco's and anywhere. You couldn't find toilet paper anywhere. And it was hell.
New York City has defunded the police, not the entire police force, but they've cut like their major crimes unit, their non-uniform crime unit.
About 1,000 officers, but Minneapolis has completely gotten rid of their police department. So what do you do?
Who are you gonna
That's what
call?
I was asked. Ghostbusters. Had to take it. I mean, seriously, if there's a murder, though, that's what I was talking about. I don't remember who I was saying this to, but if there's a murder, what do you do? Does the person who shot the person or killed someone, do they just get away with it, or so what happens?
Does it fall on does the sheriff's office have jurisdiction in that? Because Minneapolis is in a county.
Yeah.
Does it now fall on the sheriff's office to police the entire county?
There are questions that I guess that we don't know the answers to. Coming up, though, on the flip side of this commercial break, we have Councilman Matt Watson joining us, also for running for mayor president. So stay right there with us, guys.
feeling.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Fruget Jr., and I am a general dentist at Fruget Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology, which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
State Treasurer John Schroeder, encouraging you to visit latreasury.com to search for your unclaimed property money. During this pandemic, we've returned money to businesses, local governments, and people across Louisiana.
New Orleans Habitat for Humanity found unclaimed property with the Louisiana Treasury.
Audubon Nature Institute has unclaimed property.
I found unclaimed property with the Louisiana Department of Treasury.
We still have over $800 million. This is your money. Claim it.
Clarence Bugg Show. Yeah, I'm back on the air. That's right, 10 a.m. until 12 noon, Monday and Wednesday, and we replay it Monday and Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. to midnight. Check us out online. You can watch it live at PelicanSportsTV.com, or better yet, why don't you just download the Pelican Broadcasting app? That way you can take it with you anywhere you go. That's right, the Clarence Bugg Show. Tell you what, oh, wait, gotta run, gotta go, bye.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Hey, welcome back. It's Exiles TV in our second hour. By the way, Kiran Chawla, give it up for Kiran Chawla, a guest co-host. As I've said before, Kiran has probably won more Edward R. Murrow Awards for journalistic excellence and Suncoast Emmy Awards than most people have ever dreamed of winning or been even nominated for in broadcasting. So I'm glad to have you with me today.
Thank you for having me.
It's an honor to share a television screen with you.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be talking to you in this role again.
Thank you.
This gentleman, in case you don't recognize him, which I know a lot of you do, is Matt Watson. He is a Metro Councilman in East Baton Rouge Parish with the District 9. And
Oh, well, we've been saying 9 this whole time.
That's all right. That's all right. When I'm mayor, all the districts won't make anything.
Who's 9? I'll get them on the show
9
instead.
would be Dwight Hudson.
Dwight, that's my district. That's why I keep saying
Wow.
it. Damn it.
See, my excuse is I haven't been watching. I haven't covered news or watched any news. So.
I will schedule that MRI next week. So, District 11.
Yep.
Damn it. Anyway,
one question we did have. So, are you currently still a councilman?
Absolutely.
Okay, we couldn't.
Absolutely.
Are you a councilman until the end of the term or until you qualify?
Till the end of the term.
Okay.
So you don't have to give up your council seat while you're running?
No, but the same day of November 3rd will be the election for mayor president, which everyone knows I'll be on that ballot, and everyone who's running for council, including the persons that will run for my council seat. So I can't run for both seats at the same time, so I obviously won't be council person.
Well, let's give you the big open-ended. What made you decide you wanted to run for mayor president of East Baton Rouge?
Well, I worked for the previous council person underneath Kip Holden's administration, and underneath that administration, we had a lot of shortfalls in what seemed to be resources available to take care of, parts of the city that have been neglected. If we look at Baton Rouge city limits, inside the city limits north of Florida Boulevard and Old South, we've got a lot of homes that have been complained about, rightfully so, by the neighbors that need to be condemned and torn down. We've got other street issues that need to be fixed, and I'm not talking about building new major roads, I'm talking about repairs where people live. And when you have shortfalls and possibly being a little bit more efficient in how you spend your money and spending money in the right order, because one positive investment in one area will have an effect on 2 or 3 down the road that you don't have to then spend money on because you're not focused on spending on silos. We had an issue underneath Kip Holden's administration with just needing to make better use of the money we've already got. Now we get into this administration, which to me couldn't manage its way out of a wet paper bag, but now you've lost $24 million because of COVID shutdown. You're going to have the St. George City formation,
which is 22, 23, somewhere in there.
It all depends on who's paying for the study, what those dollar amounts are. The one that the mayor paid for came out with $48.8 million. When I asked in her office with revenue there and finance there, how much are the services that the parish normally renders to that area to offset that, they looked at the mayor and Darrell Gissel and said that we don't know how much we spend in the area of St. George, and that was before the October 12th election, so it could be that they didn't want to come out and say we only spend $29 million and we collect $48.8 million, because that would have only stoked the fire. And those are numbers that I'm making up right now because no one would give me any numbers as far as how much is spent out there. And even if it was honest that they didn't know the numbers, what does that say about how efficient and how in touch with the services that our government provides that they don't know what they spend on potholes and mowing and fixing roads?
They should know what they spend on everything.
Exactly.
Everything.
Or have it readily available.
Yeah.
If you don't know it off the top of your head, you should be able to pull that out.
I would have imagined in that meeting that somebody would have called up to the 4th floor and been able to get that dollar amount.
Well, the other subject we talked about is crime.
Yeah.
You, of all people, know this, that the investigation I did as far as non-fatal shootings, we were talking about it earlier, that you can get the murder rate, but the number of murders does not always tell you the exact crime rate in that city. Well, one of the biggest things is non-fatal shootings. We've heard repeatedly, just this weekend alone, the amount of non-fatal shootings. We still can't track that. How do you take on...
It can be tracked, and I'll tell you, it doesn't follow the narrative that this mayor and this police chief want to say, that our city is not as violent as it really is. Only until former chief of police Pat Englade and a few other Facebook groups started pushing out a video of the over 100 shots fired in North Baton Rouge just a couple of days ago, was there even a reaction from the administration and the chief of police on it? And I'll tell you what, I feel terrible for those people who were shot, 7 people shot. I feel horrible for the family, and obviously it's a tragic loss of the person that was killed out there. But whether it be from bad aim, excellent EMTs, excellent doctors, and wonderful police officers, it could have been much, much worse. With 100 shots fired, it could have been 100 people dead.
I find it very disingenuous to try to tell people that we can't keep track of non-fatal shootings.
It's an absolute lie.
A gunshot wound is reported in any emergency room or hospital. A gunshot wound, they are mandatory reporters. Anybody that treats one has to report it.
Yep,
certainly.
So there's no way to say we can't track non-fatals.
I'll say this: you can give numbers and you can put a footnote that says this number does not include people who've been shot, did not want to get law enforcement involved, and treated the wound at home. And as crazy as that may sound to people who don't live in a violent area, or aren't used to gunshots.
Yep.
That's a reality
Yep.
in certain areas. I speak to police officers that say, I saw so-and-so that I see regularly on my patrol, and he had a limp, and he's wearing shorts. And he's like, what happened to your leg? He goes, oh, I got shot. Through his calf, not through the bone, but through his calf. And he wasn't going to go to the
police.
The police are going to get involved if he shows up at the emergency room with a gunshot wound. He didn't want any part of it.
He just didn't treat the wound.
He treated it at home.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you treat it? That'll tear the flesh right up, man.
Seriously. Well, my point in saying that is that would give Baton Rouge which everybody deserves and has a right to know what the true crime situation is in Baton Rouge. We don't have those numbers. We don't know what the crime is. How, as mayor president, would you get the crime in East Baton Rouge Parish under control?
First off, I would take we already have 4 assistant chief administrative officers.
Deputy chiefs.
Deputy chief administrative, I'm talking about underneath the mayor.
Oh, okay.
You've got the chief administrative officer, Daryl Gisser.
Good guy.
Then you've got, Vineeth Iyengar and some other folks that are assistant chief administrative officers under the mayor's office. I would make one of those assistant chief administrative officers specifically tasked with public safety. They would watch what EMS wanted. They would have a relationship with the sheriff, because the mayor doesn't have any control over what the sheriff does, but to have a positive relationship with the sheriff, because he's literally the highest law enforcement authority in the land, in the parish. Mm-hmm. So you want to have a good relationship. He's got the prison under his control. So this public safety officer would be tasked with communicating with the fire departments, with EMS, with the sheriff, and would be tasked with making sure that we've got a well-run police force. And I'll tell you, I really think at this point, with the current leadership we've got in the police station, I think that office wouldn't be on the 3rd floor, but would have to be in BRPD headquarters in the Old Women's Hospital, where we've got the public safety complex.
The mayor and the chief have come under fire, some people calling it a hug-a-thug policy, where they're perceived by many as being soft on crime or indifferent at the least. I mean, do we need to be harder on crime, or do we need to try and inspire people to do the right thing?
We need to inspire people to do the right thing, but we also need to, let me say this. We've got people who write in, when we had an item on the agenda about a $4,500 grant, a little bit more than that, grant to reimburse our constable for felony and misdemeanor warrant sweeps. We've got scores of emails from the public saying, defund the police, this is going to break up families, don't go after these folks, stop this, you shouldn't be doing this. And the mantra was anti law enforcement. Mm-hmm. My question was, after Terica, the constable, said, we're not doing any misdemeanor warrant sweeps, we're doing violent felony warrant sweeps. Can you tell me what those violent felonies are? Domestic battery, carjackings, shootings. So I got to thinking, of all these folks that are writing in about defund the police, we shouldn't do this, and she's only going after people who committed those crimes, who in the hell is thinking about the victims?
Nobody.
Or
apparently
thinking about keeping people from becoming victims.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we need to be focused on. Give those people a voice. And so we've got people over here and people over here that are screaming and yelling at each other. And there's some people in the middle that are trying to have an adult conversation to find some common ground, because we need to have the police service evolve. Police don't need to go out and visit a family home where a youth is off of his medication that he's on for some psychiatric or organic disorder. Mm-hmm. And if it's after dark and this family's been using the emergency room as their primary care physician, they call 911, the operator says, has anyone been injured? And they're thinking, not yet. They send the police. Mm-hmm. And when you talk to the police, they'll say, I've been here 8 times this month. I'm not the solution to this problem. Rational adults in the middle can have a conversation about changing law enforcement to provide the services that you were talking about, like inspiring people to do better, doing things better. But we also have to take very seriously the predators that are in our community, or people who make temporary bad decisions that really make a permanent change in their life and someone else's lives, we have to take that seriously. We have got to work on the crime problem here because it certainly isn't the best sales pitch to bring people to this community for tourism or bring business here.
Matt Watson is a candidate for East Baton Rouge Parish Mayor President. It's a city parish government, so being the mayor of Baton Rouge would mean running the entire parish. We're going to have more with Matt in just moments. Going to take a quick break. Kiran, Chawla, and myself will be back with Matt on Exiles TV.
Bellelo's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bellelo's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
That's right, the Clarence Buggs Show is back, along with the Exiles, Bill Profita and Kevin Gallagher. We've put the band back together, South Louisiana's talk team, and it's only on the Pelican. 10 a.m. till 12 noon, right here on the Pelican.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hey, welcome back. It's Exiles TV. Kiran, Chawla filling in for Bill Profita today. And I got to say, you look a fair lot better than Bill. Sorry to,
I think Bill would agree with you.
Sorry to go there, but I know Bill. I know.
Bill probably would actually agree.
I know Bill would agree. And our guest, of course, is Matt Watson, Metro Council District 11.
There we go.
And running for Mayor President of East Baton Rouge Parish. What made you decide you wanted to do this?
I have never thought that the service to my community ever stopped at the border of District 11.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked with folks all over the parish, and there's a lot of folks that have connected with me through other parties. You know, somebody who knows somebody says, we've got this problem with this tire shop. on North Foster and Sherwood Street that we've been complaining about for a year to the council person of that area. Never to even get, we got your email, we got your call, we'll see what we can do. No, nothing but silence. So they're fed up about it. They want to do stuff. They've gotten together to form a community volunteer group to create neighborhood captains for Neighborhood Watch, create ways to do cleanups. They want to know what the rules are about high grass and junk, trash, and debris and parking in the yard. And that's just one area. To go out and clean that up and see the huge difference it makes in a neighborhood by coordinating with, friends I've got at DPW who can make a truck available to haul away the 630 tires we took off that lot.
Wow.
That was right next to somebody's home. To go and get Republic Services with a phone call, and I realize I'm a council person, so I'm in a position where I can make that phone call and get it answered.
You swing a little way.
But to call Sharon Mann at Republic and say, I need a claw truck to meet me at Howell Park at 5:30 in the morning on a Saturday because we've got piles of garbage that are 8 feet high in front of people's homes that they live in that have been there since the flood of 2016.
But you're using that power to help the community.
I am.
You're using your councilman position to help the community and be a voice, which that's what people elected you to do.
Well, see, there's a woman named Lynette. I won't give her last name because she's not here to tell me to give her last name. But Lynette is in she was in what was called the 7805 Community Action Team, and we would meet at Istruma High School, and every Tuesday night we would talk about what the rules and regulations were on how people can upkeep their house and what do you do about condemnations and, so this house is caught on fire or this is happening in the neighborhood. What is my recourse? Getting everybody to learn how to use the 311 app, all this kind of stuff. Empower them so that they don't have to run to somebody else to ask because they have the power to do all this.
Yep.
Teach them what they can do so they can run with it because I'm one set of eyes. They've got eyes out in the neighborhood, and the more people I touch in that way, the more information I get.
Yep. Well,
Go ahead.
Are you done there?
No, I was going to say,
Go ahead first.
Going out and talking with all those folks, they don't sit and watch me ride around and pick this stuff up.
Yep.
I ride in the truck and I pop out working with the guy in the truck to separate tires and dump stuff out of the recycling bin that's dirty diapers and stuff that can't be recyclable so he can pick all this stuff up. But all the other people in the group they helped make the map of all the different locations that need to be cleaned up.
Yep.
They go out and locate new stuff that's been put out since the map was made. Working with Sharon, who actually got RCI, another company, because on a Saturday, we were working on a Saturday, the landfill closes at 3 o'clock. So we're hitting as much as we can, but there's so much. The trip back and forth to the landfill was eating up so much of our day. So out of her kindness, she contacted RCI. We met on Plank Road. I ripped the map in half, and the RCI driver took his half, and we took the other half, and we knocked out all this stuff. And I'll tell you the funniest story is I'm riding around while we're looking to make the map, and there's this big pile, and it's all brush. And it's dried out. You can tell it's been there forever. And here's the family in their carport, and he's walking out, and I roll my window, and I said, how long has the city letting this been sitting here? And he goes, it's been here since the flood.
Wow.
I said, your normal pickup day is Tuesday. If it's not picked up on Tuesday, I'm going to be here on Saturday to pick it up. And he goes, whatever. I pull up on Saturday in that truck. I pop out, and he goes, God damn. You weren't kidding. And now he's out there helping me pull out. There was a little bit of a fiberglass shower installation thing that we need to separate from the woody debris because that's what we were picking up. But he's out there helping me, and he couldn't believe that somebody cared. That someone first stopped by, and it's easy for somebody to stop by and give lip service. To make a promise, that's easy. But it wasn't a promise, it was a commitment.
But here's
when I
a
came back
government
and I showed up.
bureaucrat actually rolling up his sleeves and getting his hands dirty.
I'm not a bureaucrat.
And that kind of
Well, that's why I put it in quotes.
I understand.
That's kind of goes to what we were saying before, that a lot of people feel Baton Rouge is off the tracks right now, and we need to get it back on track.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, how do you get Baton Rouge back on track?
Do practical changes in the actual physical landscape here that people can understand. Right now, you've got people who live in Shenandoah that may have never been up on Eaton Street. But if I can show them a picture of a half burned down house with a tarp over it that no one's been living in, that the neighbors have been complaining about. If I show someone who lives in Shenandoah, or someone who lives in White Oak Landing, or someone who lives in Indian Mound, and I show them a picture of what that house was and a mowed lot, they understand that's success. They understand something's been done that's positive. And the people that live on either side of that house, they certainly are enjoying their life a whole lot more, have a better quality of place, less look, there's a huge positive correlation between blight, condemnations, and crime. I mean, I'll give you a stack as tall
Broken
as your
window
head.
effect.
Exactly. So to take care of the physical things and to do things in order, if you can, because of the positive correlation between blight, condemnations, and crime, if you find anywhere that you can scrape some cash from other parts, not to reduce services, but to find inefficiencies and take that money and push as much to tearing down condemnations as possible and start getting them just expeditiously as possible torn down, even if it means taking some of this money and assisting the manpower that we are in short supply, because this mayor has taken people out of the Department of Maintenance and the Department of Development that could help tear those down. And we start hiring people who live in these neighborhoods who know exactly what you're talking about, and it's about time this got torn down. We can create some jobs through contract. This stuff all gets hauled away, and it changes the face of not just the adults that live there, it changes the face of the community that the children grow up in, and they will now know government cared enough to do this. And it's undeniable that a change has happened right next door to where I live.
What about the people who actually own that blighted property? I mean, will they get to retain ownership, or does it become city property?
Well, that would be a normal condemnation. If they've not been paying taxes on it, it could go into a sheriff's sale, it could go into an adjudicated property sale. If they own it, the house would be, they would give proper notice, they'd get due process. If it got torn down, then a lien would be placed on the property for the cost of the tear down.
What about encouraging people to come in and flip these properties and turn them into tax-paying properties again? Some of these houses aren't so far gone.
No. I'm talking, when I talk about demolishing stuff, I'm not talking about taking a house that nobody's living in and tearing it down. I'm not talking about getting a phone call from somebody that says, I hate the lady next door, she's on vacation, come tear her house down. I've gotten that before. I'm talking about places that are you just can't fix it.
It's a ruin.
And even if you did fix them, the road is here and it goes down to the property. Any additional money put into that house is going to get demolished at some point with high water, especially with all the things we need to do with drainage. Houses that can be fixed up, there's a lot of those houses up there. And I've seen some of them get turned into granite countertops, stainless steel stuff, and the house still sells for $80,000 to somebody. And you get a guy that works at a plant who grew up in North Baton Rouge, and he buys a house, and he buys the house next door as a rental property to help him pay the mortgage on both of them, in addition to what he makes. We need to change North Baton Rouge from a rental economy to a home ownership economy, because that builds wealth in that economy. We just had Paula Davis at the state level reduce from 36 months to 18 months to get clear title on the purchase of adjudicated property. That is absolutely huge. We had a real slimy state rep that wanted to get one of his bills passed that was damaging to the police department, and he actually came out against his own constituency to say, I will fight this Paula Davis bill that will help make North Baton Rouge more of a home ownership wealth building, rather than just throwing a check away every month without building any wealth. He was going to fight that, and told some organizations that he would lobby against that unless you went against your own best interests and helped me lobby against the police force.
Wow. Well,
I wish I could say I'm shocked.
I'm certainly not shocked.
Well, we're coming up closing to another break, but before we head out, one of the things I want to make sure that you have these same exact questions that Tara had be able to answer some of those. And I'll kind of let you think about this, but a lot of people in Baton Rouge are considering moving out for several different reasons, be it traffic, be it the infrastructure, be it the crime, whatnot. We're going to get your answer on that how do you keep those people from moving? Some of them are lifelong citizens of Baton Rouge who are saying they've absolutely had enough.
I can answer that really quick. vote for me for mayor president and stick around for at least 1 year, and you will see the progress happen expeditiously.
Exiles TV is going to be right back. Stay there.
Hi gang, Clarence Bugs here. Cox Cable is upgrading the signal from the Pelican, but to catch us, you're going to have to tune in now to a new number. Acadiana, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Gramercy, Lutcher. Check your guide for details.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Clarence Bugs Show. Yeah, I'm back on the air. That's right, 10 a.m. until 12 noon, Monday and Wednesday, and we replay it Monday and Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. to midnight. Check us out online. You can watch it live at PelicanSportsTV.com, or better yet, why don't you just download the Pelican Broadcasting app? That way you can take it with you anywhere you go. That's right, the Clarence Bugs Show. Tell you what, oh, wait, gotta run, gotta go, bye.
Back with Exiles TV, one more segment with Matt Watson, a Metro Council for East Baton Rouge Parish. That is a city parish government, so it's a big job. You got to run. You're not only the parish president, you're also the mayor of the capital city and running the most populous parish. Matt, the question I have is that within our city limits, it is a majority black voter,
Sure.
And that tends to run Democratic.
Sure.
You are white and a Republican.
Am I?
Well, you are a Republican. I shouldn't presume. You are a Republican?
Yeah. I'm a moderate Republican, Big Tent Republican, but I'll say this really
quickly. At the risk of being flipped, how do you expect to get elected in East Baton Rouge Parish?
Well, here's the deal. I don't understand why, for starters, we have political parties at a municipal level where really we should be focused on being basically the superintendent of the apartment complex.
Couldn't agree more.
That when your toilet doesn't work, or you need lights fixed, or a door's ajar, or somebody's broken into somebody's apartment, you're the person, man or woman, you're the person that takes care of all that stuff, and the person who's best at it ought to have the job. And it doesn't make any difference if I have filled potholes in front of homes of people who claim to be communists, and it doesn't make any difference. They're supporting me because when they called, I responded. That's what the job is. Ideology alone isn't going to run a city very well. We see that kind of right now. Ideology alone won't run a city very well. In fact, ideology won't fix broken windows. You've got to put practical, hands-on, work on the ground done. And I've done that across the municipality. I have got support in the African American community. I've got support in the Vietnamese community. I've got support in the Latino community. I've got support all over areas that not only have I done something, but they have a business where I've done something for them and done it so quickly and so completely that they go back and they tell their neighbors. And now they're having meet and greets for me so they can give testimonials on what I've done for them. Really, at this point right now, my staff is doing our very best to keep up with requests for signs, requests to schedule meet and greets. I'm not out there selling. Of course, I've got social media and all this kind of stuff going on because I've got to introduce myself to people who have yet to meet me or maybe have seen my name but don't know who I am. I need to have that story told. But for the most part, it has been an unbelievable swelling of support and demand for, I want you to come speak to this group. I mean, on Sunday, I had 4 meetings plus church plus lunch with my daughter on a Sunday. And that's the normal thing, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Every day I've got people around the clock working, and it's absolutely wonderful. And I'm a workaholic, and I love to solve problems, and what a dream it is to be in a situation where there's just, unfortunately, so many problems to solve here. And I'm the guy that's going to be doing it around the clock. And the lives that I've touched with reaching out and going the extra mile, they know that it's not politics, that it's not rhetoric. It's, I will get stabbed through my hand by a wire coming out of a radial tire that I'm picking up, and somebody that doesn't look like me, that doesn't live in the neighborhood I'm from, takes me to their house to give me some hydrogen peroxide and put a Band-Aid on. Because we're all people. You say that there's 56% of the voters in the city are African American, and I'm talking about 100% of the voters are voters, and 100% of the voters have issues that they want to get fixed. And I'm the person who's got a history of fixing them. In the short time I've been on Metro Council and the brief time I was able to do a whole lot as the legislative aide to the previous council person, I would say, look at what I've put on, the effective things that I've put on the agenda and got accomplished that are really significant for this community. There's other people that are run for mayor that can't even say that, whether it's 30 years of community service or whether it's 11 and a half years of community service or have been a council person years ago or even being a state rep right now. You tell me what things that they brought to the table that have changed people's lives, like a hotel motel ordinance to stop human trafficking, to change people's lives in the ways of making people who want to get a permit to go door to door and do door-to-door sales. We used to give them a $5 paper permit with somebody's name on it. You didn't know if it was that person or not. But now, to make people safer, they have to go pay $25 if they want to get a door-to-door sales permit, go to the state police and pay for their own fingerprinting to get a background check, so that we don't, as a city, give an official permit for me to go on your property, and maybe I have an arrest warrant in another state. Or maybe this other person is on the National Sexual Predators list, that our city didn't do any background check and gave them a permit, so now they're in an argument with some dad. He's trying to sell magazines or something. And he's like, I got a permit, I'm allowed to be on your property, without even knowing who you're giving it to. Or because there's no photograph, they're swapping back and forth.
Well, you spoke about 100% of the voters, guys. 100% of you have to get out and vote in order to make a difference. If you want your voices heard, get out and vote.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Matt Watson, I wish you the best of luck.
Well, I thank you very much. I'll
It's going to be a
take
rough race. We still have months to go.
You got it, man. And
Well, I didn't mean that the way I mean.
No. I'll take luck because people who work hard make their own luck. So
There you go.
I'll be pretty lucky with the amount of work I'm putting in.
I can't echo Kiran's comment enough. We have a big election coming up, president, so many other things. Please don't neglect the right to vote. Kiran, I want to thank you.
Thank you.
Very much
thank
for
you,
being here
Kevin.
today.
And I really want to say, if I can have a quick 5-10 seconds, the last 5 seconds, that I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you, the community. You guys have been overwhelming in the amount of love and support I have gotten from you. And Kevin, thank you again for having me.
God bless you. I love you. Exiles TV returns on Thursday morning. We hope you'll be with us. Till then, take care.